Imagine waking up every morning with a fire inside you, unstoppable, unshakable, driven. Now picture the opposite, waking up feeling stuck, trapped in the same cycle, wondering why success always seems just out of reach. Here's the truth. It's not the world that's holding you back. It's your mind. Every single breakthrough in your life starts with rewiring how you think, how you feel, and how you act. But most people are running on an outdated mental program, sabotaging themselves before they even start. What if I told you there's a secret hack, a way to reset your brain for unlimited success? Science proves it. High achievers live by it, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make it work for you. 1, the power of mental conditioning. Your mind is like a computer, constantly running programs that dictate how you think, feel, and act. But here's the catch. Most of these programs weren't installed by you. They were shaped by your environment, your upbringing, the people around you, and every experience you've ever had. From the moment you were born, your brain has been absorbing information and forming patterns, creating a mental blueprint that determines how you navigate life. Some of these patterns serve you well, helping you push forward, take risks, and chase success. But others, they keep you stuck, reinforcing self-doubt, hesitation, and fear. Think about how you learned to walk as a baby. At first it was clumsy, uncertain, full of falls, but with repetition your brain formed new neural connections, strengthening the pathways that allowed you to balance, step forward, and eventually walk with confidence. The same process happens with everything in life. Your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors are simply patterns your brain has reinforced over time. The problem is that many people don't realize they have control over these patterns. They assume their thoughts are set in stone, that their fears, insecurities, and limitations are permanent. But they're not. Just like you learn to walk, you can learn to think, feel, and act differently. Your brain thrives on repetition. The more you tell yourself something, the more it becomes ingrained in your identity. If you constantly repeat to yourself, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or I don't have what it takes, those thoughts become your reality. Not because they're true, but because your brain has accepted them as facts. The good news is that this process works both ways. If you start reinforcing empowering beliefs, I am capable, I am unstoppable, I am destined for success, your brain will eventually accept those as facts too. Mental conditioning is what separates those who break through barriers from those who stay trapped in mediocrity. High achievers don't just wake up with unshakable confidence and drive, they train their minds daily. They know that their thoughts control their emotions control their actions, and their actions create their results. They don't leave their mental state to chance. Instead, they intentionally rewire their minds for success by feeding themselves empowering thoughts, eliminating negative self-talk, and surrounding themselves with influences that reinforce their vision. Consider professional athletes. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They visualize their success. They repeat affirmations. And they condition themselves to push through pain, fatigue, and doubt. They understand that the mind gives up before the body does. And if they can control their thoughts, they can push past their limits. The same principle applies to business leaders, performers, and anyone who has ever achieved extraordinary success. They didn't get there by accident. They got there because they conditioned their minds to think and operate at a higher level. But here's where most people go wrong. They wait for motivation. They believe that once they feel confident, once they feel ready, then they'll take action. But that's backwards. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes because of action. You don't wait to feel strong before you hit the gym, you lift the weights and strength follows. You don't wait to feel courageous before you take risks, you take the risk and courage follows. Mental conditioning works the same way. You must train your mind repeatedly and consistently until success-oriented thoughts become your default setting. Way 2, neuroscience of success. Your brain is the control center of your entire life. dictating your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Everything you do, from the way you react to challenges to the goals you set and the risks you take, is driven by neural pathways, networks of neurons that fire together and form patterns based on repetition. These pathways act like mental highways, determining how easily and quickly certain thoughts and behaviors occur. The more you use a certain pathway, the stronger it becomes, making certain thought patterns automatic. This is why people who constantly doubt themselves continue to struggle, while those who consistently reinforce confidence and action find success almost instinctive. At a fundamental level, your brain is designed for survival, not success. It prioritizes safety, comfort, and efficiency, which is why change feels difficult and unfamiliar situations create resistance. Your brain's primary job is to conserve energy and protect you from perceived threats, even if those threats are just stepping outside of your comfort zone. This is why most people stick to habits and beliefs they've carried for years, even when those patterns are no longer serving them. The moment you try to break a limiting belief or push yourself into a new challenge, your brain activates its defense mechanisms, triggering doubt, fear, and hesitation. These responses are not logical. They are deeply ingrained survival mechanisms designed to keep you in familiar territory. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is the key to breaking these patterns. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, interrupt a negative thought, or take action despite fear, you weaken old neural connections and start forming new ones. This is why repetition is so crucial. If you've spent years telling yourself, I'm not good at this, or I'll never succeed, your brain has reinforced those statements so strongly that they feel like absolute truth. But the moment you start replacing those thoughts with, I am capable, and I always find a way, your brain begins to adapt. At first, these new thoughts feel unnatural because the old neural pathways are still dominant, but with consistent repetition, the new pathways strengthen and the old ones weaken, eventually making success-oriented thinking your new default. The prefrontal cortex, the rational and decision-making part of your brain, plays a crucial role in shaping your success. It's responsible for planning, problem solving, and impulse control. However, it's often in conflict with the limbic system, the emotional and survival-driven part of the brain. The limbic system processes fear and pleasure, meaning that whenever you face a challenge or an opportunity that feels risky, it sends signals to avoid discomfort. This is why people procrastinate, give in to distractions, or choose instant gratification over long-term success. When left untrained, the emotional brain can override logic, leading to self-sabotage. High achievers have trained their prefrontal cortex to stay in control. They understand that their first instinct might be hesitation, but they don't let that dictate their actions. Instead, they use conscious thought to override emotional impulses, pushing themselves to take action even when fear is present. The more they do this, the stronger their prefrontal cortex becomes, allowing them to handle pressure, make decisions faster, and operate with a mindset of certainty rather than doubt. Neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers of the brain, also play a massive role in success. Dopamine, often called the reward chemical, is responsible for motivation and drive. When you accomplish a goal, big or small, your brain releases dopamine, reinforcing the behavior and making you want to repeat it. This is why celebrating small wins is so important. It creates a chemical feedback loop that keeps you motivated. On the other hand, if your brain is conditioned to only seek comfort, it will release dopamine for things like social media scrolling, binge watching, or avoiding challenges, reinforcing procrastination and low energy habits. By intentionally setting small achievable goals and rewarding yourself for progress, you can train your brain to associate success with pleasure, making high performance feel natural rather than forced. Cortisol, the stress hormone, can be another major obstacle to success. When you're under constant stress, your brain goes into survival mode, reducing logical thinking and increasing impulsive reactions. High cortisol levels make it harder to focus, problem solve, or stay committed to long-term goals. This is why successful individuals prioritize mental conditioning, using techniques like meditation, breathwork, visualization, and movement to lower cortisol levels and keep their minds sharp. They don't wait for stress to consume them. They proactively train their minds to stay in a peak state, ensuring that they operate from power, not panic. Your reticular activating system, RAS, a network of neurons in the brainstem, acts as a filter for the information you receive. With millions of pieces of data hitting your senses every second, your brain needs a way to decide what's important and what to ignore. The RAS does this by focusing on what you repeatedly think about and believe in. If you constantly reinforce negative thoughts, your RAS will filter in more negativity, making challenges seem bigger and opportunities seem smaller. But if you train your mind to focus on possibilities, solutions, and success, your RAS will start filtering in resources, ideas, and opportunities that align with that mindset. This is why people who believe in abundance see opportunities everywhere, while those who believe in scarcity feel like life is against them. They're experiencing the same world, but their brains are filtering it differently. The subconscious mind, which controls 95% of your thoughts and behaviors, is like a massive storage system for everything you've ever learned. It doesn't differentiate between what's useful and what's harmful. It simply holds on to whatever has been reinforced the most. This is why some people struggle with deep-seated self-doubt, even when they logically know they are capable. Their subconscious mind is still running old programs based on past experiences, failures, or negative conditioning from childhood. Rewiring the subconscious requires more than just positive thinking. It requires deep repetition, visualization, emotional reinforcement, and sometimes even physical movement to reprogram old patterns. Way 3, master your emotional state. Emotions dictate every decision you make, every action you take, and ultimately the quality of your life. Most people believe they are logical beings who make decisions based on reason, but in reality, emotion is the driving force behind almost everything. The way you feel in any given moment directly influences how you think, how you behave, and the level of confidence you bring to any challenge. Your emotional state determines whether you move forward with power or hesitate in fear, whether you see obstacles as roadblocks or stepping stones, whether you take control of your life or allow circumstances to control you. The ability to master your emotional state is the difference between those who create success on demand and those who constantly struggle with inconsistency, procrastination, and self-doubt. Your brain and body are constantly communicating through a feedback loop of emotions and physiology. The way you feel affects how you hold yourself, how you move, how you breathe, and how much energy you have. At the same time, the way you hold yourself, move, and breathe directly influences your emotions. If you slump your shoulders, lower your head, and take shallow breaths, your brain gets the signal that you are in a low-energy, defeated state. But if you stand tall, expand your chest, and take deep, powerful breaths, your brain gets the signal that you are confident, strong, and ready to take action. This is why motion controls emotion. One of the fastest ways to change how you feel is to change how you move. Think about a time when you felt unstoppable, when you were full of confidence, energy, and certainty. How were you standing? How were you breathing? How did you speak? Compare that to a time when you felt stuck, frustrated, or full of doubt. The difference in body language is massive. The challenge is that most people don't realize how much control they actually have over this. They assume emotions just happen to them, as if they have no say in the matter. But in reality, you can create the emotional states you want at will. It starts with recognizing that your emotions are not random. They are patterns that have been conditioned over time. Your brain operates based on neural associations. If you repeatedly respond to stress by getting frustrated, avoiding action, or feeling overwhelmed, that becomes your default response. The neural pathways in your brain strengthen each time you repeat this pattern, making it automatic. But just like any habit, you can break the pattern by consciously choosing a different response. The key is to interrupt the emotion before it takes over. The moment you feel yourself slipping into a disempowering state, you must change your physiology immediately. Jump up, move your body, shout something powerful, breathe deeply, anything that forces a pattern interrupt. Breathwork is one of the most powerful tools for mastering emotional state. When you are stressed or anxious, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, signaling to your nervous system that you are in danger. This triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, making you feel even more overwhelmed. But if you take control of your breath, slowing it down, deepening it, and focusing on powerful, intentional inhales and exhales, you can instantly shift out of stress and into a state of control. Techniques like box breathing, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold again for 4 seconds, can reset your nervous system within minutes. Another major factor in controlling your emotional state is focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what could go wrong, your brain floods your body with stress and anxiety. But if you shift your focus to what's possible, what's in your control, and what you're grateful for, your entire physiology shifts. Gratitude in particular is one of the fastest ways to elevate your emotional state. Scientific studies show that when you focus on gratitude, your brain releases serotonin and dopamine chemicals that instantly make you feel happier, more motivated, and more in control. The challenge is that most people unconsciously focus on negativity because their brains have been conditioned to look for problems. The key is to take control of your focus and consciously direct it toward empowering thoughts and emotions. The words you use also shape your emotional state. Language isn't just a way to describe your experience, it actually creates it. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, or I can't do this, your brain believes it and your body follows suit. But if you upgrade your language and say, I'm energized, I'm in control, or I've got this, your mind and body align with that reality. High performers don't just talk differently to others, they talk differently to themselves. They eliminate weak, disempowering language and replace it with powerful, success-driven self-talk. Anchoring is another technique used by high achievers to control their emotional state on demand. Anchoring is the process of associating a specific physical action with a peak emotional state so that you can trigger that emotion whenever you need it. For example, if you repeatedly associate a powerful movement like clenching your fist, standing tall, or pounding your chest with feelings of confidence and certainty, eventually doing that movement will instantly put you in that state. Athletes, performers, and top business leaders use this strategy to enter peak states before critical moments. They don't wait to feel confident. They fire their anchors and step into confidence immediately. Music is another powerful tool for emotional mastery. Everyone has songs that make them feel unstoppable, energized, or deeply focused. The reason music is so effective is that it bypasses the logical brain and goes straight to the emotional centers, instantly shifting your state. High performers use music strategically before big meetings, workouts, or high-pressure situations to trigger the exact emotions they need. Your environment also plays a massive role in shaping your emotional state. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, all of these factors influence how you feel on a daily basis. If you spend time with people who constantly complain, focus on problems, and bring low energy, your brain absorbs that emotional state. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, positive, and solution-oriented, their energy will elevate you. Successful people are intentional about their environment. They create spaces that inspire them, eliminate negativity from their surroundings, and protect their energy from anything that drains them. Way 4, upgrade your identity and beliefs. Your identity is the foundation of everything you do, the invisible force that drives your decisions, actions, and the results you create in life. Most people don't realize that their identity is not fixed. It's something they have constructed over time based on past experiences, societal conditioning, and the beliefs they have reinforced. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, who is unlucky, or who isn't capable of great success, then no matter how much you push forward, you will always find a way to revert to that identity. On the other hand, if you upgrade your identity, if you start seeing yourself as someone who is powerful, resilient, and unstoppable, then you will begin to act in alignment with that new version of yourself, and your results will transform accordingly. Your brain is always working to stay consistent with the identity you hold about yourself. This is why people who believe they are bad with money continue to struggle financially, why those who see themselves as unhealthy find it difficult to maintain fitness, and why those who think of themselves as shy avoid social situations. Their actions are simply a reflection of the self-images they have unconsciously built over time. This is why willpower alone is never enough. You can try to force yourself to change for a short period, but if your identity remains the same, you will always snap back to the version of yourself you believe you are at your core. Your beliefs act as the operating system of your mind. Every decision you make, every risk you take or avoid, and every result you achieve is filtered through the lens of what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. Beliefs are not facts. They are just mental programs that have been reinforced over time. Some beliefs empower you while others hold you back. The challenge is that most people have accepted their beliefs without ever questioning them. They have inherited them from parents, teachers, society, and past experiences without realizing that these beliefs are shaping their destiny. Beliefs are formed through repetition and emotional intensity. If someone repeatedly tells you as a child that you are not good at something, and if that statement is reinforced by negative experiences, it solidifies into a belief. Once a belief is in place, your brain works to confirm it by filtering in information that supports it and filtering out anything that contradicts it. This is known as confirmation bias. If you believe you are not smart, your brain will highlight every mistake you make and overlook all the times you have succeeded. If you believe you are bad at relationships, your mind will focus on your failures while dismissing the times you connected with others. The good news is that this process works in reverse as well. If you intentionally program your mind with empowering beliefs and reinforce them through action, your brain will begin to filter in evidence that supports your new identity. One of the most powerful ways to upgrade your identity is through small, consistent wins. Each time you take an action that aligns with your new identity, you send a signal to your brain that this is who you are now. If you see yourself as a leader, every time you speak with confidence, make a decisive choice, or take responsibility for a situation, you reinforce that identity. If you want to become someone who's disciplined, every time you wake up early, stick to a routine, or push through resistance, you strengthen that identity. The key is to start acting in alignment with your upgraded identity before you fully believe it. Most people wait until they feel different before they take action, but the truth is that action precedes belief. You don't wait to feel confident before you start acting confidently. You act confidently first, and the belief follows. Another critical element in upgrading your identity is changing your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself determines the way you see yourself. If you constantly reinforce negative labels, I'm not good at this, I'm not disciplined, I'm not a leader, your subconscious mind accepts those statements as reality. But if you replace those with powerful affirmations, I am disciplined, I always find solutions, I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to, your brain will start rewiring itself to support this new version of you. It's not about lying to yourself. It's about consciously choosing to feed your mind with empowering messages rather than limiting ones. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your identity as well. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the habits you engage in all reinforce your sense of self. If you surround yourself with people who think small, complain, and settle for mediocrity, you will subconsciously absorb their mindset. But if you immerse yourself in an environment of high achievers, visionaries, and people who challenge you to grow, your identity will naturally expand. This is why successful people are highly intentional about their surroundings. They curate their environment to support their upgraded identity, eliminating anything that reinforces their old limitations. One of the fastest ways to shift your identity is through immersion, fully surrounding yourself with experiences, mentors, and influences that reflect the person you want to become. When you are exposed to a new standard of thinking, a new level of success, or a new way of operating, your brain adapts quickly. This is why breakthroughs often happen when people attend powerful events, work with great mentors, or put themselves in environments where their old limitations no longer make sense. The more you immerse yourself in the energy of the identity you want to adopt, the faster your transformation happens. Visualization is another powerful tool for upgrading your identity. Your brain doesn't differentiate between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, which means that when you consistently visualize yourself as the person you want to become, seeing yourself confident, decisive, and successful, you are training your mind to accept that identity as reality. The key is to engage all your senses, to feel the emotions as if they are happening right now. When you combine visualization with real-world action, the shift in identity becomes even more powerful. Another crucial aspect of identity transformation is breaking the emotional attachment to your old self. Many people struggle to change not because they lack ability, but because they are subconsciously attached to their current identity. Even if that identity is holding them back, it feels familiar, and the brain craves familiarity. Some people are addicted to struggle because it gives them a sense of certainty. Others stay in limiting patterns because those patterns provide comfort. To truly step into a new identity, you must be willing to let go of the emotional ties to your old self. This means breaking free from past stories, releasing old labels, and giving yourself permission to evolve. Wave 5, Doug, build success-driven rituals. Success is not a one-time event. It is a result of consistent, intentional actions taken daily. The people who achieve extraordinary results don't rely on motivation or willpower. They build rituals that condition their mind and body for peak performance. A ritual is more than just a habit. It is a consciously designed routine that aligns with your vision, reinforces your identity, and ensures that success becomes automatic. The most successful individuals in the world don't wake up and hope to feel motivated. They have structured their days in a way that guarantees they operate at a high level regardless of external circumstances. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. The challenge is that most people have rituals that reinforce mediocrity rather than success. They wake up late, check their phones first thing in the morning, consume negative content, and operate in a reactive state all day. They don't realize that these small, seemingly insignificant actions are shaping their mindset, energy levels, and overall trajectory in life. On the other hand, those who create and follow success-driven rituals set themselves up to win before they even start their day. They take control of their morning, their mindset, and their focus, ensuring that they step into every challenge with confidence and clarity. The way you start your morning determines the tone of your entire day. High achievers don't wake up and hope for a good day. They create one through intentional rituals. One of the most powerful morning rituals is movement. Your physiology directly impacts your psychology, and the fastest way to shift your emotional state is through physical motion. Whether it's stretching, working out, jumping into cold water, or simply taking deep, powerful breaths, moving your body first thing in the morning signals to your brain that you are awake, energized, and ready to perform at your highest level. Another key morning ritual is priming your mind for success. Most people start their day by exposing themselves to stress, checking emails, scrolling through social media, or consuming news that fills their mind with negativity. But those who operate at the highest level take control of their mental state before they let the outside world in. This could be through meditation, breath work, visualization, or affirmations, anything that strengthens their mindset before they step into the demands of the day. Visualization is one of the most powerful rituals for success. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, which means that when you visualize yourself succeeding, seeing yourself taking bold action, overcoming obstacles, and achieving your goals, you are conditioning your mind to expect success. The more detailed and emotionally intense your visualization is, the more powerful it becomes. Top athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers use this technique to prepare their minds for peak performance before they even take action. Gratitude is another game-changing ritual. Your brain is wired to focus on problems. It's a survival mechanism designed to keep you alert to danger, but when you consciously shift your focus to gratitude, you rewire your brain to see opportunities rather than obstacles. Taking just a few minutes each morning to reflect on what you are grateful for releases serotonin and dopamine, boosting your mood, increasing motivation, and setting a positive tone for the day. The key is to feel gratitude deeply, not just list things out mechanically. The more emotion you bring to this practice, the more powerful the effect. What you feed your mind in the first hour of the day shapes your entire mindset. High achievers don't waste their mornings with random scrolling or meaningless distractions. They use that time to grow. They listen to powerful audio programs, read books that expand their knowledge, and consume content that sharpens their thinking. They understand that the mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. One of the best success-driven rituals is dedicating time each morning to learning, whether through reading, listening to a podcast, or reviewing personal development materials. Success-driven rituals are not just about mornings, they extend throughout the day. One of the most powerful midday rituals is resetting your state. Energy is the key to high performance, and most people let their energy decline as the day goes on. They sit for hours, get lost in distractions, and wonder why they feel drained by the afternoon. High performers, on the other hand, take intentional breaks to reset their mind and body. They step away from their desk, do a quick workout, take deep breaths, or go outside to get sunlight. These small actions might seem insignificant, but they make a massive difference in maintaining high energy levels throughout the day. Another critical success ritual is managing focus. Most people live in a constant state of distraction, bouncing from one task to another, checking notifications, and never truly being present in their work. High achievers, however, structure their day with focused time blocks, periods where they eliminate all distractions and work with full intensity. They turn off notifications, set clear priorities, and operate with deep focus. The key is not just working harder, but working smarter by creating an environment where focus is effortless. Evening rituals are just as important as morning rituals. The way you end your day determines how well you recover, how effectively your subconscious mind processes information, and how prepared you are for the next day. One of the most powerful evening rituals is reflection. Taking a few minutes to review what went well, what could be improved, and what the biggest wins of the day were. This not only reinforces a success-oriented mindset, but also helps you continuously refine your approach. Another key evening ritual is disconnecting from screens before bed. Most people stay up late scrolling through their phones, exposing themselves to blue light that disrupts sleep, filling their minds with random information, and making it harder to unwind. High performers prioritize quality sleep because they understand that recovery is just as important as action. They create a wind-down routine, whether it's reading, journaling, stretching, or practicing deep breathing, to ensure that they enter a deep, restorative sleep that prepares them for the next day. Journaling is another success-driven ritual that helps reinforce growth. Writing down your thoughts, lessons, and insights allows you to track progress, recognize patterns, and gain clarity. Whether it's setting intentions for the next day, reflecting on personal growth, or documenting breakthroughs, journaling is a powerful way to strengthen your mindset. Accountability is a major factor in success-driven rituals. One of the reasons most people struggle to stay consistent is that they rely only on themselves, with no external structure to keep them on track. High achievers build accountability into their rituals, whether through coaches, mentors, mastermind groups, or accountability partners. They create systems that ensure they stay consistent even on days when motivation is low. Way 6, take massive aligned action. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, the right level of confidence. But success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who take massive aligned action. Action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. You can have the best ideas, the most detailed plans, and the most powerful mindset, but without action, nothing changes. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck is their ability to take bold, decisive action in the face of uncertainty. Massive action is not about doing random tasks or working harder for the sake of being busy. It's about taking intentional, strategic steps that move you directly toward your vision. Many people confuse activity with productivity. They spend hours checking emails, researching, organizing, or preparing, but they never take the bold steps that create real momentum. Aligned action means focusing on the high-impact moves that generate the biggest results. It means cutting through distractions, eliminating excuses, and doing the things that actually move the needle. One of the biggest reasons people fail to take massive action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong decision. But waiting until fear disappears is a losing strategy. Fear never fully goes away. The only way to overcome it is to move forward despite it. The most successful individuals in the world are not fearless. They have simply trained themselves to take action regardless of how they feel. They understand that confidence is not something you have before you start. It is something you develop through action. The more you take action, the more competent you become, and the more confident you feel. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. It wants to avoid risk, uncertainty, and discomfort. This is why, when faced with a big decision or a challenging goal, your mind immediately creates excuses. It tells you that you're not ready yet, that you need more time, that you should wait until conditions are perfect. But perfect conditions never come. If you let your brain's survival instincts dictate your decisions, you will always play small. The key is to train yourself to act before your mind has a chance to talk you out of it. The longer you hesitate, the stronger resistance becomes. This is why successful people develop the habit of making fast decisions and taking immediate action. Aligned action is about clarity. Most people don't take action because they are unclear about what they actually want. They set vague goals like, I want to be successful, or I want to be happy, but they never define what that actually looks like in real, tangible terms. When you have absolute clarity on your vision, when you can see it, feel it, and break it down into specific steps, taking action becomes effortless. Your brain thrives on specificity. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, commit to a clear action, like I will work out for 45 minutes at 6 a.m. every day. Instead of saying, I want to start a business, Define the first concrete step. Like, I will create a website and make my first sale within 30 days. Clarity eliminates indecision and creates momentum. Another major reason people fail to take massive action is that they are stuck in the perfection trap. They think they need to have everything figured out before they start. They wait until they have the perfect plan, the perfect skills, the perfect conditions. But perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. The truth is, no one has it all figured out in the beginning. The most successful people take imperfect action. They start before they're ready, knowing that they will learn and adjust along the way. The fastest way to get clarity is through action. You don't sit around thinking your way into success, you act your way into success. Taking massive action also requires building resilience. Not every step you take will work. Not every plan will succeed. The people who achieve the greatest success are not those who never fail, but those who keep going despite failure. They see setbacks as feedback, not as reasons to quit. Most people give up too soon. They try something once, it doesn't work, and they assume they aren't capable. But failure is part of the process. Every failure brings a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to refine your approach. The key is to stay in motion, constantly adapting and improving. Your environment plays a massive role in your ability to take action. If you are surrounded by people who make excuses, who play small, who settle for mediocrity, you will subconsciously absorb their mindset. But if you surround yourself with action takers, people who push themselves, challenge their limits, and refuse to accept anything less than excellence, you will naturally elevate your own standards. This is why successful people are highly selective about who they spend time with. They put themselves in environments that demand growth, that challenge them to be better, that make action the norm. Accountability is another powerful tool for taking massive action. When you set goals in isolation, it's easy to make excuses. But when you publicly commit to a goal, when you have someone holding you accountable, your chances of following through skyrocket. This is why top performers invest in coaches, mentors, and mastermind groups. They create systems that ensure they stay on track. When you know that someone is expecting results from you, you are far more likely to take action even when you don't feel like it. Taking massive action is also about speed. The longer you wait to take action, the harder it becomes. The best time to take action is now. The moment you get an idea, the moment you feel inspired, the moment you recognize an opportunity, that is the time to move. The more you train yourself to act quickly, the more momentum you build. Momentum is everything. When you take consistent action, even small steps, they compound over time and create massive results. Aligned action also requires adaptability. Most people get stuck because they are too rigid in their approach. They set a plan, and if it doesn't work, they feel lost. But success is not about following a fixed path. It's about constantly adjusting based on feedback. If something isn't working, change the strategy, not the goal. The most successful people are flexible. They test, they learn, they refine, but they never stop moving forward. Everything you desire, every breakthrough, every level of success, every transformation is within your reach. But it doesn't come from wishful thinking, from waiting for the right moment, or from hoping things will change on their own. It comes from rewiring your mind, mastering your emotional state, upgrading your identity, building success-driven rituals, and taking massive aligned action. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't intelligence, luck, or background. It's the decision to commit fully, to break free from old patterns, and to create a mindset that is unstoppable. Success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who creates it effortlessly. Now is your moment, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. The power to shift your life, to elevate your mindset, to create unstoppable momentum is already in your hands. The only question is, will you step up and claim it? Will you break free from limitations and take control of your future? Because those who succeed don't wait. They decide, they act, they dominate. So make the decision. Rewire your mind. Step into the most powerful version of yourself. And go after success like your life depends on it, because it does.